So here in this part of the Bhagavatam, continuation with the creation of this cosmic manifestation, how step by step creation took place, how the various elements one after the other started to become manifest. So we are seeing here in this verse, we see how rasamatram abhut tasmat. Rasamatram means the sense of taste, tasting. Where did it come about? How did it come about? Rupamatrad vikurvanat tejaso daivachoditat. By the transformation of rupamatra or rupa or seeing or form, and along with that tejasaha. Tejasaha means fire. So here we see by the interaction of fire and the visual sensation, the subtle element taste evolves. So this is how step by step it is happening. How it happens? Daivachoditat, by a superior arrangement. So from taste, what all comes? From taste, water is produced. That is ambho. Ambaha means water. And then jihva. Jihva means tongue. Water is produced and tongue is produced. So the tongue which can perceive the taste is also manifested. So how all of these things are happening? By a superior arrangement. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the tongue is described here as the instrument for acquiring knowledge of taste. Correct? We say tongue is one of the knowledge acquiring senses. Jnanendriya. Just like the ears are there for acquiring knowledge of sound. The eyes is there for acquiring knowledge of various forms. Likewise, the tongue is given to acquire the knowledge of various tastes. So which are the various tastes? That will be the whatever topic for next session, next verse. What are the various tastes associated which the tongue can perceive? All of those things in the next shloka we can see. But here we are seeing how the instrument for acquiring knowledge, taste, tongue is being produced. Because taste is a product of water, there is always saliva on the tongue. See, taste we can perceive through water. In the manifestation, if we see, first is ether, then air, then ether, then sound, air, then whatever form, fire, all these things step by step we are seeing. So it is from, like say when water comes into existence, the sense of taste can be perceived. Otherwise till that there is no taste, just ether is formed and then air is there. Through air can we perceive taste? No. Through some form can we perceive taste? No. Next step, whatever, when the creation happens, that is what we are seeing now, water, through that we will be able to perceive taste. So this taste and water is connected. That's why, so as Prabhupada says here, because the taste is a product of water, there is always saliva on the tongue. Because without saliva, we will not be able to taste. That water element is required for the taste perception to happen. So ultimately, so these facts we are seeing, how it happens, will we be able to replicate this? No, may not be. It's only under the superior arrangement of the Supreme Lord. Daiva Choditat, all these various transformations can take place. We just accept as it is. See, this is also very important. Daiva Choditat, under a superior arrangement. Our entire bhakti process, how it works, what changes happen in our consciousness, how will we become eligible to go back to Godhead, the various changes, what happens in our body, our mind, intelligence, ego, consciousness, the change of gunas, qualities, everything happens. How it happens? It's all by superior arrangement. Many things we may not be able to perceive, we may not be able to understand at all. Just like, to give the example, how through superior arrangement something happens. Just like we have this new BRTS bus stand. We go pay some money, purchase a ticket and travel to different station. And when we want to come out of that station there, we take the ticket and there is one scanner kept there. We have to put it there and the gate opens. So it's a superior arrangement. Now some new person comes, maybe some from village or somewhere. He sees other people, some paper they are showing there, and immediately gate opens. Voluntarily if we try to push the gate, it won't open. So with that ticket whatever, with that barcode something, it opens. Any other paper you go and keep it there, no, it won't open. There is a superior arrangement there for a higher purpose, who should enter, who should not, and how, whatever the ticket collection money or everything should happen. So there is a system made. Whoever wants to make use of that facility can pay the price and make use of that facility. For that all those checks and balances are kept. Likewise, just understand the body what we have got, the various senses what we have, the various sense objects what are created in this universe for the satisfaction of the senses. All of these things are nothing but a superior arrangement made by the Supreme Lord for a purpose. What is that purpose? To satisfy the desire of a living entity to enjoy independent of the Supreme Lord. So all of these huge arrangements the Supreme Lord has made. So now we are speaking about this tongue and taste. We can recollect how Srila Prabhupada, in many of his lectures, many of his conversations, we see how just by properly engaging the tongue, we can become completely purified, reach the perfectional stage of devotional service, and become eligible to go back to Godhead just by taking care of the tongue. Daily we chant the prayers before taking prasadam. Sharira avidya jal, jadendriyata hai kal. This sharira, this body is a network of avidya, ignorance. And in this sharira there are various senses, indriya, jada indriya tahe kala. It pushes us, drags us towards kala or death. Jadendriya tahe kala. Jiva fele vishaya sagore. This living entity, a jiva, has fallen into this ocean of vishaya or sense objects. In this ocean there are various sense objects and we have been made to fall in that, and we are trying to swim there searching for various sense objects, try to gratify our senses to some extent, but being tossed continuously up and down. Jiva fele vishaya sagore, and Tara madhye jihva atilobhomoy. Among all the other senses also, the jihva or the tongue is most greedy. You'll never be able to satisfy it. Atilobhomoy. Very, very greedy. It's like a greedy person. How much ever money you give, he'll not be satisfied. He wants more, more, more. Likewise, the tongue also. How much ever you satisfy, go on giving whatever different varieties of tastes, what it demands. It will never be satisfied. More, more, more. It will continue to ask. Atilobhomoy sudurmati. Taake jeta katina samsare Krishna bada doyamoy. So in this material world, looking at this condition of we fallen living entities, Krishna, who is very merciful, Krishna bada doyamoy, kori vare jihva jai swaprasadam nadilabhai. The Supreme Lord, out of His causeless mercy, He has made available the prasadam, the remnants of His food. And so Bhakti Vinod Thakur recommends, so say Annamrita Pao. Considering this prasadam as Amrita, accept it. Radha Krishna Gunagao. Glorify the names of Radha and Krishna, or chant Hare Krishna. This is the program given for us. Just by tasting, just by utilizing the tongue in the proper way, all perfection can be achieved. And in another place, Prabhupada says how the tongue, two activities. One is tasting, one more thing is there, that is speaking or making sound. Taste Krishna Prasadam and chant Hare Krishna. All perfection is guaranteed. Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyaihi sevonmukhe jihvadau swayameva spuratyadaha. Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. So this Krishna Nama, Charita, Adi, all of these things, His name, His leelas, His qualities, activities, anything pertaining to Lord Krishna, through our gross senses, we will not be able to understand. But sevonmukhehi jihvado, engage the senses beginning from the tongue. Swayameva spuratyadaha. Automatically, everything related to Krishna is manifested within us. We will be able to taste Krishna Prasadam nicely. We will be able to hear and understand about Krishna's qualities, His leelas nicely. We will be able to serve Him through our transcendental senses. We will be able to remember Him in our mind. So all of these things can happen. The beginning is sevonmukhehi jihvadau. Sevonmukha, engage all of the senses in His service, and especially beginning from the tongue, jihva adau. So now I'll be reading few nice quotes from various teachings of Prabhupada, wherein Prabhupada speaks about the tongue and especially things related to prasadam. Let us see. In one lecture in Calcutta, Srila Prabhupada says, temple worship means to distribute the prasadam to the poor. That is temple worship. Temple worship does not mean that you bring some rice from the neighbors and cook it and eat yourself and sit, sleep down nicely. No. Temple worship means you must distribute prasadam. You should distribute to the poor. Everyone is poor. Every living entity in this material world is poor. It's not only some poor people are there, only for them we'll go and distribute. No, prasadam has to be distributed to everybody because everyone is everyone is poor spiritually. So the spirit soul, that's what is required. So just like the gross things we eat, body is nourished. When prasadam we intake, the soul is also nourished. The soul will become rich spiritually by accepting prasadam. So temple worship, one of the important ingredients is distribution of prasadam. Then another beautiful, in case of explaining about the pastime of Dhruva Maharaja, Prabhupada says this. Dhruva Maharaja, however, accepted such fruits not for luxurious feasting, but just to keep his body and soul together. The body needs food, but a devotee should not accept foodstuff to satisfy the tongue in sense gratification. It is recommended in Bhagavad Gita that one should accept as much food as necessary to keep the body fit. Yukta ahara viharasya, that verse. But one should not eat for luxury. Dhruva Maharaja is an acharya, and by undergoing severe austerities and penances, he teaches us how one should execute devotional service. We must carefully know the process of Dhruva Maharaja's service. How severely he passed his days will be shown in later verses. We should always remember that to become a bona fide devotee of the Lord is not an easy task. See, if we recollect how Dhruva Maharaja performed austerities, within 6 months, 1 month he gave up food, ate only some fruits, roots available in the forest, offered to the Lord, and he was accepting. And next month again he stopped even that, only some dry leaves he was accepting. And then he stopped even that, he was accepting only some water. And then even he stopped accepting water, he was sustaining himself just by air. Like this, such severe austerities were practiced by Dhruva Maharaja. But in this age of Kali, these things are not practical for us, not possible for us. So, but in this age, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, it has been made very easy. But if we do not follow even the liberal instructions of Lord Chaitanya, how can we expect to discharge our regular duties in devotional service? It is not possible in this age to follow Dhruva Maharaja in his austerity, but the principles must be followed. We should not disregard the regulative principles given by our spiritual master for to make it easier for the conditioned soul. As far as our ISKCON movement is concerned, we simply ask that one observe the 4 prohibitive rules, chant 16 rounds, and instead of indulging in luxurious eating for the tongue, simply accept prasada offered to the Lord. See, this is the instruction given. Simply accept prasada, the food which is offered to the Lord. This does not mean that with our fasting, the Lord should also fast. The Lord should be given foodstuffs which are very nice as far as possible. But we should not make it a point to satisfy our own tongues. As far as possible, we should accept simple foodstuffs just to keep the body and soul together to execute devotional service. So this is the point. As far as possible, we should accept prasadam not with the intention of just for its taste. Of course, we are all beginners, very much conditioned to this material world. So in the beginning stage, we encourage people, at least for taste, accept prasadam. Instead of just like without good taste, because we have seen people going to varieties of places, eating abominable things just to satisfy the tongue. So we make some palatable dishes available, offer to the Lord, sattvic food, and make it available, at least for the taste. Let people come and accept prasadam and be benefited. But when we want to elevate ourselves to higher statuses of devotional life, then we should take up certain austerities. What form of austerity? Don't accept anything that which is not offered to the Lord. And even among whatever is offered, accept that much what is required to keep the body and soul together. Anything excess, anything above this, it will have a reaction. So we may have to face. So this is the instruction given here. In yet another place, this also I'll read it out. This is in the book The Quest for Enlightenment. Prabhupada writes, eating only food offered to Krishna is the perfection of vegetarianism. In itself, being a vegetarian is not enough. After all, even pigeons and monkeys are vegetarians. But when we go beyond vegetarianism to a diet of prasadam, our eating becomes helpful in achieving the goal of human life, that is, reawakening the soul's original relationship with God. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that unless one eats only food that has been offered to him in sacrifice, one will suffer the reactions of karma. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, which is that verse, Yajna Shishta Shinas Santo Muchante Sarva Kilbishaihi Bhunjate to Agham Papa Ye Pachanti Atma Karanat. Santaha means devotees. Devotees, what do? Yajna Shishta Ashinaha. Ashinaha means to eat. What do they eat? They eat only those things which are Yajna Shishta, the remnants of sacrifice. So here the remnants, sacrifice means what? Yajna, Yajneshwara, Yajna Purusha means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whatever is offered to the Lord and the remaining portion, the devotees, Santaha, they accept it. Just by doing this, what will happen? Yajna Shishta Ashinaha Santaha Muchante Sarva Kilbishaihi. They will be relieved from all kinds of whatever past sinful reactions. Everything will be nullified. They become pure. Muchante Sarva Kilbishaihi. On the other hand, those people who eat without offering to the Lord, just for the satisfaction of their tongue, Ye pachanti atmakaranat, they also cook at themselves. Bhunjate tu agham papa. They are eating nothing but sin. Just by, as Prabhupada says here, just by taking up to this simple one process related to the tongue, how all perfection in devotional life can be achieved. A very simple thing, but if we stick on to this strictly, yes, perfection can be achieved. If you simply make this determined vow that I shall not allow my tongue to taste anything not offered to Krishna, and shall always engage my tongue in chanting Hare Krishna, then all perfection is in your grasp. Two simple things. Don't eat anything not offered to Krishna and always chant Hare Krishna. That's all. See, these are the bold statements given by Prabhupada. Just by the engagement of tongue in tasting Krishna Prasadam and chanting Hare Krishna, all perfection can be achieved. Now let me tell you one beautiful pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Jagannath Puri, he had settled there. So all the devotees from Bengal, every year they used to come under the leadership of Advaita Acharya and their travel guide Shivananda Sena. So nearly some 200-300 devotees, they used to travel from Bengal, Navadvipa. Every year, especially during this time, just before the rainy season, before Rath Yatra festival, they used to come to Jagannath Puri and they used to stay there. So when they were coming, they used to prepare some nice foodstuffs in their homes to offer to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they used to bring, and they used to nicely pack all of those things in some good containers made of mud, made of cloth, and all of those things, because during those times plastic was not there. Nicely they used to pack it, and some varieties of items they used to prepare and bring and give it to for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They brought it, and after bringing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like when it was offered to him, he used to tell his assistant Govinda to take it, and during his lunch time or dinner time, so those things were told to be served. So every year these devotees used to prepare nice foodstuffs and come and give it to Govinda, and they used to tell Govinda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's assistant, give this prasadam today afternoon or maybe tomorrow or whenever the Lord wants, and let me know what was his reaction, or did he comment anything about this. So it was being given, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's assistant Govinda used to take that. He used to go on keeping and storing in one room, and so much quantity of prasadam devotees used to bring. Each of them in their homes they used to personally prepare and come and offer to the Lord, that half of that one big room was filled with prasadam. And whenever Govinda came and asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu, kindly accept this, your devotees have brought, he used to just like, no, not now, later. He used to just, procrastinate it. Later I'll take. Like that, many days passed. Daily, those devotees used to come and ask Govinda, what that paid us, what I had given, did you give to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And no, okay, today you give. Again, the next day, again they used to come and remind him, ask him. And there are very senior devotees, Advaita Acharya, Shivananda Sena, and he was feeling a little hesitant Mahaprabhu is not accepting, he is telling later, and he is not taking that. But these devotees, they are coming and reminding again. And sometimes he used to tell, Mahaprabhu has taken it. Sometimes he used to tell lies also. And because of all of these things, Govinda felt very embarrassed. So what he did, one day he went in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he, whatever was there in his heart, he placed it in front of Mahaprabhu. He told Mahaprabhu that how that much quantity of food that 100 people could be sufficiently fed. So much of quantity of food is lying in the in that room. It's lying there. But Govinda says, "Tumi se na khao tanra puche bara bara katha vanchana karimo kemane amara nistara." You do not eat it, but they ask me again and again, how long shall I go on cheating them? How shall I be freed from this responsibility? So he is requesting Mahaprabhu, please free me from this responsibility. How can I be freed? Prabhu kahe, adivasya dukkha kanhe mane, keba ki diyache, taha anaha ekhane. Mahaprabhu told, Adivasya, come here. Why are you so disappointed? Who has given? What have they given? Bring it at once. Then Govinda started opening one by one and place it in front of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and tell the names of the devotees who gave them. Acharyera ei peda pana sarapopi e amrita gutika manda Karpura Kopi. These preparations, pedas, sweet rice, cakes made with cream, and also Amrita Gutika, Manda, and the pot of camphor have been given by Advaita Acharya. And then Shrivasa Panditera e Aneka Prakara, Pitha Pana Amrita Manda Padma Chiniara. Next, there are varieties of cakes, cream, Amritamanda, Padmachini given by Srivasa Pandita. Likewise, the list goes on. Acharya Ratnera, E Saba Upahara, Acharya, likewise Shrivananda Sena, Murari Gupta, Vasudeva Datta, Vakreshwar Pandita, Shriman Pandita, everyone. So each and every item Govinda started keeping in front of the Lord and he used to explain, this item is brought by Shivananda Sena, this was prepared by Acharya Nidhi, like that he was explaining all of those things. And the list goes on. And here, very interesting thing, let us observe. The hard sweets made of coconut, Mukuta Narikela, the sweet balls, the many kinds of sweet drinks and all the other preparations were at least a month old. See, during those times, there were no trains or buses or whatever to travel from one place to another. Especially these 200 devotees, they used to come by walk. They used to carry their luggages, maybe a few animals they had with them, and they used to travel up to Jagannath Puri. It used to take many days for their travel. So these foodstuffs which were being given to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were at least minimum 1 month old. And not just some hard items only, there were some sweet drinks also. They were at least a month old. But although they were old, they had not become tasteless or stale. Indeed, they had all stayed fresh. That is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is what we need to understand. So here in this verse we are seeing how under superior arrangement, by the will of the Lord, by the mercy of the Lord, how it happens, we may not be able to understand, appreciate through our material intelligence. But by the touch of the Lord, the mercy of the Lord, anything can happen. So all these devotees, out of love, they have brought an offer to Mahaprabhu, and by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, None of those items were stale, it was fresh. Then, Shatajanera Bhakshya Prabhu Dande ke Khaila Ara Kichuk Ache Bali Govinde Puchila. Shatajanera Bhakshya. That quantity of food which 100 people could take, Prabhu Danda Eke Khaila. Within one danda, the one danda means I think 30 minutes or so, within half an hour, he finished all of those, which 100 people could eat, that much quantity of food. And not just that, Mahaprabhu asks, Are kichu ache? Anything else is left over? Bring. Go with the puchila. Then, no Mahaprabhu, only Raghavera Jali, Raghava Pandita's Jalis, that is another big, whatever set of, whatever lot of bags are left. This, the Mahaprabhu says, this is sufficient for today, I'll take that tomorrow. Keep that for tomorrow. So there, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, sometimes he would eat it during his lunch, sometimes at night, but he would always think that since his devotees had offered it with great love and affection, he must eat it. So this was the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Since all of these devotees have brought it to me with love, I must eat it. So it was made to remain fresh, and whenever the Lord Mahaprabhu desired, he accepted it. So this is what we can also understand. Bhava Grahi Janardana. The Lord accepts the mood, the intent in the heart of the devotee with love. If we want to offer something, the Lord accepts it. And whatever the Lord accepts as prasadam, a devotee is completely dependent on that. I do not wish to eat any bhoga, that which is not offered to the Lord. I just want to accept whatever is offered to the Lord. So this is the mood of the devotee, and he sticks on to this principle, and we can see how in the cases of Madhavendra Puri and all, on its own accord something came, they were accepting. So the Lord personally came and was offering milk to such great devotees. Have faith in the mercy of the Lord, that yes, if we can stick on to this principle of eating Krishna Prasadam only and chant Hare Krishna, all perfection is guaranteed. So with this will conclude. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki,